Hello everybody, this is Nancy at Paper Moon Tarot, and today I wanted to do a reply to a video topic that started with Pappa Squirrel, Brian, and I also saw a response on Musings by Mascha, and I'll put links to their videos down below. Basically the topic was, if all of your tarot decks disappeared tomorrow, which ones would you rebuy? Which would you buy again? And so I know Mascha on her first VR to this was only looking at decks that would not be out of print, you know, that were easily available. I think most of the ones I've got I could get again, you know, maybe in another edition or something like that. So I'm just going to start to go through them. One deck that I got relatively recently, like in the last 3 or 4 months, that sort of falls into the category of an art deck, is the Painted Tarot. And I'll put all these decks down below with links to get them and their creators. But the Painted Tarot is, it's a deck that, you know, it certainly has some of the references for what the cards mean, but in some cases is a little more abstract. You know, this one is the 9 of Pentacles, and you see the lady and there are birds, but there's not the typical garden you're used to. There's not a whole lot of clues, but the colors and the artwork are so vibrant and stimulating that if you know your basic tarot, it's just a really fun deck to read with. It's just beautiful to lay out in a spread. Oh, it's my hangman. Why does the hangman always get me? He's upside down, that's why. But look at the colors on this, and I've shown it in some other videos because it's truly one of my favorites, and of course we're all going to rebuy the ones that we really, really, truly have fallen in love with. And I love this one. I just love the colors, the vibrancy. I think if I'd gotten it when I was first learning, I might have been a little challenged to say, what does that mean? What's in that card? But now I have, you know, gotten rid of most of those challenges, and it reads just fine. I think I showed the backs are beautiful. Sort of, I think that it's actually her art studio floor with splatters of paint. But this is definitely one I would rebuy. And the creator's in Scotland, so one is going to pay a little bit and pay for shipping and things like that, but it's worth it. Okay, the next deck is one that I would get again because it's, I love the deck. It's also one of the first decks that opened up my eyes to what tarot could be beyond RWS. It said to me, wow, there's like a world of decks out there and art and deck collecting in my future. And that is the Deviant Moon. And I pulled out this copy. I also have borderless, and if I had to rebuy, I would rebuy the borderless. But the art is so imaginative, and I found I got it pretty early on in my tarot journey, and I found that it read very true to RWS. I mean, for example, this is the 10 of Cups, and there's a happy family. They're a bizarre family, but they're a family all together with the 10 of Cups. So it reads quite easily for me. And for me, the art is interesting and gives you a slightly different spin on the traditional tarot. This hermit looks a little more afraid of people than they usually do. But it's a fantasy sort of deck, and it's easily available on Amazon, not very expensive. US Games, so it's decent card stock. So this would be one of the first ones I rebought because it has a place in my heart. I also think it's just brilliantly done and fun And I know a lot of people think it's dark and depressing, and I don't. I think it's fun and funny and imaginative. And yeah, a little on the, I guess, the dark side, but there's your Five of Wands, and there's some rivalry going on there. The only difference is the creatures, my dishwasher is going off in the background, I apologize. The creatures are not of this earth. They're of Patrick Valenza's imagination, but anyway, I would totally get the Deviant Moon again. I would rebuy it. Okay, another one I would rebuy is the animal deck that I would rebuy. And it is the Orion's Tarot. And I would rebuy it, not because it's all cutesy animals, but again, the art is so beautiful. And again, I think if I didn't know tarot, I wouldn't know how to read that Six of Wands. But now that I know, I can read with it, and I just find it beautiful. The backs are beautiful as well. I mean, what a cool magician. And I love the colors in this deck. Not my favorite card, but the Hierophant is a ram with a church behind him. But this is just a deck that's so pretty to look at. Sort of if I just want what I consider kind of a calm, peaceful, pretty deck, this is the one I go for. I also love that the text is really clear down here. It's a nice font, easy to read against the background. So I would get the Orion's Tarot. It comes from a creator in Australia, so another one that might take a little time and cost a little money to get, but well worth it. Look at the star. So beautiful. So that would be my beautiful animal deck that I would have to get again. Okay, we did the Painted Tarot. The next two are ones that really pulled me into Marseille. And the first one is the Tarot de Ozarks, which I've also had in other videos. I, again, love the art, the color palette. It's got such energy to it. And each of the pips is kind of slightly different. They're not cookie cutter pips where all the cups look alike except you add a cup, and you add a cup, and you add a cup. And I realize in traditional Marseille decks, they also have some embellishments that change, and then they're all beautiful cards. But I found with this deck that every card has such energy. I'm going to find you more pip cards so you can see why. I'm all into the majors. Okay. But there's the swords. And look at just the colors on that. And you won't find, okay, here's another sword. It's not a cookie cutter of the other one. Each one is unique, and that adds the variety that I sometimes lack in Marseille decks. But anyway, they don't have to have it, but in starting to transition to a Marseille deck and say, I might want to play around with Marseille for a while, this helped pull me into that. And it's by a creator in the US where I am, so it's not super expensive to get. I think, as I recall, you get it through like Make Playing Cards. So you seem to be coming up with a lot of swords. Okay, wands, finally. That's upside down. I'm really good at doing things upside down. Anyway, here's cups. It's just got that sort of hand-drawn, hand-done art feel and color vibrancy and just variety in the cards. Not a huge fan of the backs, but that's okay. So that's the Tarot de Ozarks. Now, once I started to kind of get into Marseille a little bit, I got as a gift the Tarot Noir, which is an absolutely stunning Marseille deck. More traditional, of course, than the one I just showed you. But I would buy this again in a heartbeat. It's so pretty, but not as flowery, ornate as some Marseille decks. Very classy looking to my mind. I mean, to me, that's just really classy looking art. Pretty colors. You know, the cup has a lot going on, but it's not too ornate. And the people in this deck, the faces, are really kind of fun. Now, it is a French deck, so the subtitles are in French. But I've had enough Spanish and Latin to figure out most words in French and Italian. But look at his face. They just have really interesting character faces. And I've said before in videos that this person knows how to do fabric and folds. They're just so luscious. So Le Tarot Noir is one that I would definitely rebuy. I think it went sort of out of stock or out of print for a while, but I think you can get it again now from Amazon France. The backs of the cards are very pretty. So I would definitely recommend it. And I'm glad this one came up because I love the horse's face. The horse just looks like it's looking back at the guy like, are you kidding? It's just a lot of personality, but very classy, clean art in this that I like. So very different from Tarot de Ozarks. My other Marseille deck that I showed you, but I really like both of them. Okay, kind of an art deck, a curated art deck that I love is the Lonely Dreamer Tarot, Melissa Weatherspoon, and the art is so beautiful. It's so well chosen by Melissa. The meanings are generally very clear to me. The backs are pretty. Now, this is the first edition. There's a second edition out that has different backs, and some of the cards are different. The cardstock I kind of love. I mean, I'm a cardstock snob, and they has to appeal to me. And I love this sort of flexible linen playing card type stock, and that's what this deck is. Look at that art. Isn't that beautiful? So this is definitely my art deck, and I would get it again. I guess I'd have to get it in the second, or maybe there'll be a third edition if and when I need another. This is one of the few decks that I actually have thought I better buy another one in case it does really go out of print, because I really love this deck. It's really, it might be in serious contention if I had to only have one deck. So that's the Lonely Dreamer Tarot. Beautiful, great cardstock, love it. And then I'm gonna bring in one that's just, it's kind of a out in left field one because I just got it. And I think all of these decks that I've shown you are ones that I know I love. I keep pulling out. I would never let go of them. I would rebuy them. This deck I just got a couple days ago. And so there's always that thing where you get a deck and you're in love, but after a month or two, you let it go. So there is no guarantee that a month or two from now that I'll tell you that this is one of the decks I would definitely rebuy. But right now, I'm in love with it, so I would rebuy it. And this is the New Immortals Tarot. And it's just come out from a Kickstarter campaign, and I just did a review of it, in case you'd like to see the entire deck. Again, that flexible linen cardstock that I really like. I'm not much of a shuffler, but I think if you are a riffle shuffler, you would find that this is a dream. But again, the color palette on this is beautiful. It's pippish, but the pips always all have a lot of stuff going on, and beautiful colors and backgrounds in the different suits. And so, you know, that isn't a worry to me. You know, if I can do Marseille decks, I can do a pip style deck. The backs are really pretty. You'll find this sort of weeping eye. It's in the World card. It's in a couple places in the deck. I'm not sure of the meaning of it, but let's find you something other than a pentacle. I seem to have all the pentacles here. Lovers. Oh, the star. I love the star in this deck. Isn't that pretty? As if that hand has sprinkled stars around her. Oh, Chariot. Chariot is gorgeous. So there she's in a chariot with Cupid's dragging the chariot, and that's, I don't know, is that some sort of serpent? They're fascinating cards. As I say, I just got it, so I haven't examined every card in detail, but I love a deck where you do have to examine the cards to really get everything out of them, where it's not so simplistic that you don't really continue to get layers from it. But here's a wand, 9 of Wands, and again, pippish, but again, look at all the colors and things to just keep your attention, keep your visual attention on the card. And each of the suits tends to use sort of a different motif, like the swords are very like Indian style, like India. Not Native American, the other India. And it was clumsy, wasn't it? There's the world. But then you've got the wands are more, seemingly more nature-based. And that being a wand. The cups almost have like a 1920s, 1930s feel to them. It's the Ace of Cups. Again, pippish, but there's the cup with the fish coming out of it. And obviously nautical, there's bubbles and shells and things like that in the cups. And so anyway, each of the suits has a different feel to it. There's our devil, who's fascinating. Anyway, this was an honorable mention, and I'm going on and on about it, but it's new. I think I would definitely buy this one again. It just is a really nice deck. I recommend it. But those are decks that I would buy again, and for various reasons, because the art is beautiful, because it's art in a Marseille style that kind of draws me into that system, because it's like the Deviant Moon, quirky, but I think very true to RWS, so it actually helped me learn tarot. Or it's artsy, like The Lonely Dreamer. Art's very important to me. Cardstock, art. Those are the things that I would buy again for. So I thank Pappa Squirrel and Mascha at Musings by Mascha for their take on this and inspiring me to do it. And I'd love to hear your comments down below about what your decks that you would rebuy are, and comments on the video, and my choices are welcome. I hope you subscribe if you don't. I'd appreciate it if you do, and like the video, and take care of yourself, and see you again next time. Bye.